everyone, and welcome aboard the Walt Disney World Transportation System.
Please stand clear of the doors. Por favor, manténganse alejado de las puertas.
Hey everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Double Dose of Disney podcast. My name is Brittany, and as always, I am joined here by my best friend and husband, Tony.
Welcome back, folks.
This week on the episode, we are going to be opening up our Instagram DMs. Actually, it's from our Instagram stories. I asked last week, what are your listener questions? I think this is going to be something that we start to put up like a question box a couple of times a month, and then we do episodes just answering all of your questions. I love getting to do this if you follow me over on TikTok, but I'm so excited to get to do this together with Tony. So, ready to get into it?
Let's roll. What do we got?
So, we had 7 questions submitted this past week, so we'll go through them in like no particular order. But the first one is, what are your favorite rides or memories of experiences together?
This is all off the cuff. There's no looking over. This is spontaneous.
Yep, we're just looking at the
Mine's
questions.
easy. I mean, is there parks? We go by parks or no?
We can do whatever you want to.
It's an open-ended question of just whatever you want. Huh?
Yeah.
Guardians.
But what's your favorite? But that's your favorite ride. But what about memories or experiences together?
The favorite memories is obviously the first trip because everything was new. I mean,
Yeah.
you can say our entire first trip, and every time we go, it's our anniversary.
You don't have like one particular one.
Probably our bridge photo with Goofy. We just walked into Epcot and boom, and he stepped on my foot. Those big old 13s.
Yeah, that was our second day of our trip. We went to Epcot. It was like Tony said, it was our first trip. And we were staying.
Got the Skyliner.
Yeah, we were staying at Art of Animation, so we had just gotten off Skyliner. And we were walking through the International Gateway, and Goofy was like walking right by the bridge in France. I can't remember what that shop is. That they frequently do like meet and greets there. But we got to meet Goofy there, and it was just spontaneous. Remember, there was one person in front of us.
And somebody thought it was Pluto.
Yeah, it was someone from another country, and they're like, Pluto!
And
And,
like, no, it's not Pluto.
and then when she walked away, Goofy was like shaking his head and covering his eyes. It was really funny.
Way off.
Goofy's always my favorite character, too, so that was really fun, too. I mean, of course, Mickey, but that was fun.
So top ride. Should we go by parks? Go by the parks.
Sure, we can do that.
So what will be yours other than Guardians and Epcot?
So my favorite. Well, why don't you go through your favorite rides first in all the parks, and then I'll do mine in my memory.
Right. So Animal Kingdom. I'm gonna have to go Dinosaur.
Yeah.
It's a close one. Everest, I feel like, is kind of like the go-to.
It's like
Maybe.
a fan. It's like
Or Avatar. Yeah. I'm going the underrated Dinosaur.
do it. What about
Everybody hates on.
What about Hollywood Studios?
Hollywood Studios. Let's go. Let's go Slinky.
Ooh,
Out of nowhere.
that's a random choice. Usually, you don't like to wait in line on that
I
one.
don't. Doesn't mean I like the ride.
True. Slinky Dog Dash is a really fun ride, but yeah, it gets a really long line and the queues outside. So
We don't ride it every time too.
We do ride it most trips, but if we get a Genie Plus for it, we just don't like waiting in line for it.
And we're going to underrate them, so maybe that's why I'm picking those.
Oh, okay. What about Magic Kingdom?
Magic Kingdom, I'd say space. It has everything.
Yeah, Space Mountain's really fun. If I have to pick what my favorite memories of experiences together on attractions, there's so many. I could say everything from like Builder Magic at Magic Kingdom is an underrated favorite of mine. Nobody's gonna pick that, but that like is something you cannot miss at the Magic Kingdom. It's Walt's original vision for Fantasia. He wanted the theaters to do this show that evokes all of your senses. And the movie theaters were like, absolutely not, we're not doing that. So Disney brought it to life eventually, and this show is like 3D. You have sights, you have sounds, you have smells throughout the whole thing. That one's really fun. Our first trip, that was fun, and I love going there every time. I honestly like. I also like the time that we raced across the park after riding Big Thunder Mountain at the start of the
I was
fireworks.
just gonna mention Big Thunder because that was probably one of our
That
favorite
was our-
memories. We were riding that for the first or second time, and the guy in front of us didn't know when it ended.
I forgot
This
about
guy
that.
still had his hands up, and it was like going into the tunnel slow mo. Started putting his hands down. We still do that today.
Yeah,
To
the
this day.
the ride was like ending.
He's like that guy.
And he had his hands straight up in the air, and then he just like
Probably
slowed
first time
down.
on the ride, he didn't know.
I did that a couple of weeks ago. Tony was driving through. It was like a back road, and it was like hilly. And I mean, that's as close as I'm gonna get to a roller coaster right now. So I was like driving through it, and I like slowly put my hands down.
Other than Space Mountain and our car wash.
Oh yeah, Space Mountain too. I would say my favorite. There's so many memories. It's really hard to pick, but I would say my favorite rides are. I'm gonna go with Pirates of the Caribbean at Magic Kingdom. I love Space Mountain. Like I could ride that one repeatedly, but Pirates of the Caribbean is just amazing. Like you go through the first scene and you kind of do like this dip down into the water, and all of a sudden you're just immersed in the story of Pirates of the Caribbean. I love that attraction for that reason.
And the pirate water.
Yeah, you smell the
The
pirate
smoky
water.
pirate
Our first time riding it, there was like a small child on it, and the drop's not big, but it
I never knew
feels
there
like
was a
it.
drop.
And I think it's like it's not like anything like, it's a family
Yeah, it's a
friendly
good
ride.
10, 12 foot drop?
Yeah, and it's kind of like
It's pitch black.
it's like a slow grade because it's going underneath the railroad tracks. Like the building has to go down. But there was a little kid on it, and I remember getting
Front row.
Yeah, I remember getting on me like that was intense. With that said, we're planning on taking our
And
girls
she
on
was
it.
holding the baby too.
Yeah, with that said, we're planning on taking our girls on. That's why we'll have carriers. Anyway, that's another topic. But I would say Pirates of the Caribbean at Magic Kingdom. Epcot, my favorite ride is obviously going to have to be Guardians of the Galaxy 2. I don't know what else would
What's
be.
it two?
Well, Guardians of the Galaxy also.
What's number two would be? What would two be?
Oh, my second favorite? Either Soarin' or Finding Nemo. Which is like a very unpopular.
Spaceship Earth.
Oh, I didn't think about Spaceship Earth. Yeah, I forgot about that too. Spaceship Earth is cool too. But Finding Nemo, if we're going underrated on this, Finding Nemo is extremely underrated. Like, I love that attraction, and I could ride it over and over and over again. We do typically ride it a couple times.
To get to the aquarium.
Yeah, but you know what? My favorite memory, and then I'll finish up with my favorite rides, was our last trip to Disney in February. We were staying at Beach Club, and we had got like 5 days of park tickets, but we decided we were doing a resort day one day. And that night for dinner, we decided we were going to go into Epcot, and we had the best night. It was so much fun. We you pulled like an app on your phone, and we put
So a randomizer.
a randomizer. We put all of the pavilions in the World Showcase into it, and then we drew for dinner drinks, appetizers, entrees, dessert, and then post dinner drinks. That was so much fun. That is my favorite memory from Disney, I think.
I was thinking about another one of my memories is always see Boathouse. Because our first night we get there and it's just like, we're here.
We're here.
Let's drop a bunch of money.
Yeah, we're here. Nothing else matters. We're back in our favorite place. Boathouse is always fun too. I remember our last trip. Whenever we go in February, there's an ice storm here, and we're always.
We always scoot right out of town.
Yeah, we're always sitting on the patio or inside or something, and it's warm, and we're having a drink, and everybody at home is
Sending us miserable texts.
preparing
Have
rides.
fun.
Yeah. My favorite ride over at Hollywood Studios. Hollywood Studios is by far my favorite park. I love Hollywood Studios. I would like to live there if I could. We should move in. I would say at Hollywood Studios, my favorite ride is probably going to be Millennium Falcon Smuggler's
Not
Run.
Tower of Terror.
No, I don't like Tower of Terror.
Yeah, we're not huge drop fans.
We like roller coasters. We like throw rides. Disney.
We'll do it.
We like Disney throw rides.
Do Tower of Terror, but it's not
Yeah,
top choice.
We've done Tower of Terror before. But I love Millennium Falcon Smuggler's Run. I just think that attraction's so cool. We aren't Star Wars people by any means, but we love Galaxy's Edge. Like, we typically spend, I'd say, like half a day in Galaxy's
I
Edge.
think I was just thinking about a public service announcement. Don't listen to the critics and the people who think they know.
Oh,
Go
good.
whether the rides give you motion sickness or whatever.
Yeah.
Find out for yourself because we've stopped. We didn't go on multiple rides because we thought, oh, well, we're gonna get motion sickness and blah blah.
We didn't.
And Star Tours or whatever.
Yeah.
That one will. We haven't, but we skipped out on a lot of rides for the first couple of trips. We thought we get sick or whatever. So.
Star Tours, also Millennium Falcon Smuggler's Run. We didn't ride for a long time because we thought that we would get motion sickness. I thought you could get motion sickness on Dinosaur because I had heard that. Guardians of the
chance.
Galaxy is a big one. If you're someone who has severe motion sickness, obviously maybe it's something to be aware of, but don't just like go off the like the vlogs or the critics, like Tony said, especially
I think
say
Disney has it tamed down to where they know pretty much anybody can ride the rides.
right. And one of the coolest things about Disney is you can always ask the cast members, hey, where on, and I've done this before on Star Tours, what's the best spot to sit in to avoid motion sickness? And they'll tell you, like, on Star Tours, it's a simulator, so they'll tell you, like, middle row, and they'll place you in that row. Like, they're more than happy to accommodate your request. Yeah. And then I was the Rebel Spy, which I don't even know what that means, but that was pretty fun, too.
You just look scared,
Because
probably.
I asked like 3 different cast members like where to sit and stuff, and then they placed me, and then all of a sudden I was a Rebel Spy. It was really fun. So I would say also my favorite over at Animal Kingdom, I'm gonna have to go with. I'm gonna have to go with Dinosaur too.
Oh, I was say tough to be bug.
Oh, but I do love Touch to Be a Bug. I like Touch to Be a Bug because I like listening to all the kids cry and scream.
That's our morning tradition. The first thing we get in there, get coffee, and we sit down and get some good laughs.
Yeah,
Everybody else, not
that's
the show's funny, but we
true.
get a good laugh at everybody else because there's at least 6 kids that go crying out of that every
It's
time.
our favorite attraction to go. We get a Joffrey's before we walk into the park. It's our favorite attraction to go to. We like sip our coffees while we're watching the show, and it's a really fun show. Again, it's another show that evokes all your senses, but that's really
Don't be
fun
mad
too.
when you hear screaming. It's funny.
Yeah, we laugh really
the doors
hard.
start swinging open on the left side.
Yeah, we laugh. Yeah, we laugh really hard at that. So yeah, I would say Dinosaur and It's Tough to Be a Bug's my favorite. I like Expedition Everest too. It's really fun. Do you remember like riding Expedition Everest and you got off it and you're like, I don't think that I like that ride. Like I like it, but I psych myself out on rides.
That's
where
one too, depending on where you're at. It's intense.
yeah, I psych myself out on it, and I'm like, I psych myself out on rides. And I'm like, I don't want to get on them. And then we'll either be halfway through the ride or getting off of it, and I tell Tony, that was the best ride ever. And he's like, yeah, that was a little intense on that one.
Yeah, if you want to get thrown around and get a really good throw, get the back seat, back row, back
Yeah.
card on that one.
Yeah, because when you go backwards, it just feels more intense. You're feeling everybody's weight in front of you.
Speaking on that, you remember talking the time you dipped out on me and going on a rock and roller coaster? One time.
When was that? That was our second trip to Disney, I think. We were like,
There's no closing time.
there was no Fast Pass or Genie Plus because it was during the vid. And we were eating at Sci-Fi Dine-In. And Tony was like, I've got to ride Rock and Roller Coaster. Like, I'm not
There's
leaving
things
this
that you
park
can't
without
leave. You're like, you've been thinking about this for a year, planning this trip, and then you wimp out like, no, I'm going on this thing. I have to know what it's like. Good or bad, I'm getting on this thing. And I literally got in as they were shutting the gate on it.
We both walked in, and because the year before we had a fast pass for it, and I think we canceled it, but we both walked in, and I told Tony, I was like, I just ate, I don't think I should ride this, so they put
It
Tony.
was more than that. You got scared.
No, I know,
More than
but
that,
I use that as an excuse, but
long story short, I hopped in. I was the front cart of this thing. I never went my entire life by myself, and it was a fun ride.
we should
And
have
she-
saved that
yeah.
ride photo. I don't think we had Memory Maker back then, which, as a side note, we always get Memory Maker now because it's
Yeah.
always worth it. The next question is, do you think it's overrated to wake up early for Rope Drop and Genie Plus on vacation? I think meaning like setting up Genie Plus on vacation.
That's nothing for us because it's not really that early. It's 7. I mean,
It's 6 a.m. at home, but yeah,
usually
Which we're
usually
usually
excited on
about.
vacation anyways. They're not really sleeping in anyway.
true.
So that's kind of what you have to. Rope drop, we really don't even really do.
No, I talk frequently about how I'm not a big fan of Rope Drop. At Magic Kingdom, Rope Drop used to be a physical thing where they would drop the rope in the morning. They don't do that anymore because of early entry for a resort guest. So instead, when you do quote unquote rope drop at Magic Kingdom, what that means is you're going into the park for early entry for resort guests. When Magic Kingdom opens for early entry for resort guests, it's only opening Fantasyland and Tomorrowland. That means it funnels everybody in to those two lands rather than like the other lands of the Magic Kingdom. So we're not big proponents of it. We usually take our time. We have a coffee in the morning. That's typically what we do before we go into every single park. And we instead, when everybody's over, like finishing up their morning in Fantasyland and Tomorrowland, we had left to Adventureland. So I'm not a big proponent of rope drop either. I also think it can be really stressful to try to get your family.
Well, now
up
there's
that
so many
morning.
ways to get all your rides done with
Right.
all the app and everything. Or if you want to just buy something, or
Yeah.
it's really not even. Yeah, you want to ride. You're waiting a couple of lines either way.
Yeah.
You get everything done, then what?
Yeah, and with Genie Plus, like waking up early for Genie Plus, like Tony said, that's not a big deal to us. We are usually up at home at like 6 or 6:30 every morning anyway, so it's really not the big deal to be up at the same time over
Well, now
there.
that you can stack them, you definitely want to do that too. We walked in several times and already had 2+ rides we could go get on.
Yeah, and the way that our trips go, I plan everything on the front end. I'm big on planning everything on the front end. Once we get there, I used to like plan like our Genie Plus attractions and all that stuff. Tony takes over, and he really
Genie
like
Plus snub.
yeah, he is a Genie Plus like snob, and I sometimes have to tell him like, hey, let's just enjoy the day and not have all of these stacked lightning lanes, especially at the Magic Kingdom. The Magic Kingdom, I'm like, there's so much to do outside of attractions, but yeah, and with Genie Plus too, you can always buy it on the app quickly. And then you can get your first lightning lane. You can't get another one for 2 hours later, so you can always go back to sleep or something like that. What are your favorite shoes to wear at Disney?
Well, that one just comes down to comfort.
Yeah.
I would never do sandals.
No.
Never do Crocs.
People love Crocs.
If you run, bring your running shoes.
True.
Obviously, just don't bring a brand new pair of shoes you never walked around. But that one's pretty easy. Just make sure it's comfortable.
I think we mentioned in the first podcast, like the things that we learned from Disney is Disney's an extremely active vacation. Like you're walking 20,000 steps in a day. And our second day, we were soaking our feet in the bathtub. And our last day at Disney during our first trip, I told Tony like my dogs are barking, and he's like, "How old are you?"
No, we were literally soaking our feet in the tub. That was before we ever like started going on any occasional walks, and we were just like, wow.
Yeah, I mean, we're definitely more active now, but at the same time, too, wear shoes that are comfortable to you at home. I always share over on my like TikTok, and my bio is the Shop LTK link, and I always share like weekly outfits for the Disney parks on there. Each week, I put like tennis shoes on there, like as a part of each outfit for the parks. And those are like my tried and true shoes for the parks. For me, like I love wearing Nikes in the parks. I love wearing Converse in the parks. But everybody's foot's like shaped a little bit different. So like Tony said, if you're a runner,
I
wear your
usually
running
transition
shoes.
throughout the day too.
You mean throughout the trip?
Yeah, the day or the trip, or multiple times a day. I'll switch out
True.
shoes. Won't wear the same ones when we go eat dinner. We're all in the park all day long, but different. Bring a couple pair.
Yeah, I always get hate on TikTok for saying that like I love Converse and Nikes in the parks. People are like, those aren't comfortable, but they'll say that Adidas are comfortable to them, and those aren't comfortable to me. So it really just depends on your foot.
Our next one is one that we haven't done yet.
Nope.
This is how do you expect your trip to change with the babies?
So,
We don't know.
we really haven't talked about the baby
We
that
have
much
no
on here.
clue.
So right now we are pregnant with identical twin girls, and they are due on Christmas Day of 2023. So our plan is to go back to Disney hopefully in February for our anniversary because they'll likely be born early.
Which everyone thinks we're crazy.
Yeah, but that's just what we do. That's our lifestyle. So we're gonna take them along for the ride. And one of them just kicked right now. February 2024, we'll either take them back or we'll take them back in late March or early April. Basically, as soon as we can safely get them back to Disney.
So we already talked about it, and obviously we're not opposed to either having more resort time.
Right.
We're not gonna be in the parks all day long, probably, which we're fine with. Anyway, once we've pretty much done almost everything there's to do.
Yeah,
We don't have to do everything every single trip.
I
We'll
think
probably spend some more time at the resort, pool, whatever.
something that I tell people when they're asking like when should I take my kids to Disney is there's no right or wrong age to take a child to Disney or anyone to Disney. We've seen newborn babies at Disney. We've seen
You just can't have your
elderly
expectations the
women.
same as you've always had.
Yeah, remember the lady in her 90s that we saw at Epcot having the best time? I think she was by herself, like wearing Mickey ears. Like Walt Disney built the parks. His intention for the parks was for everyone, and most of the rides at Disney are have like no height requirement. So it's like a really perfect opportunity to bond as a family. What we are planning on doing is, like Tony said, I've done a lot of research into like the resorts to stay at that I think we'll stay at. So we'll probably plan on staying at Caribbean Beach or on the Skyliner because you don't have to collapse a stroller down to get on the Skyliner or the monorail. And then once they're a little bit older, we'll probably do a monorail resort.
It'll probably be later in the mornings. We'll go every time, I'm sure too.
Yeah, or just whatever works best for their schedule. We like registered particularly for like the Up-A-Baby stroller because since they're twins, then we can just put them like both in there. And then we're also planning on like using carriers, like infant carriers in the park. So Tony and I will each have a carrier. That way when we go on attractions, they can ride in there. They're more secure. Like Tony was saying earlier, the baby that they were just being held on like Pirates of the Caribbean. It just gives you a little bit more security.
At the end of the day, we have knowledge, but we have no.
Yeah.
Act like we have it all figured out.
So I
No clue.
think our biggest plan is to just go with the flow with them. Like whatever they want to do. We'll probably do more quick service meals.
Yeah, we probably be sitting down as much probably.
Yeah, well, or like eating at Casey's Corner, we can just pull the stroller up there. We don't have to leave the stroller outside. You know what I mean? Like so if they're asleep, then we can just pull the stroller up right there and eat at the tables rather than like waiting outside. That'll probably be one thing. We're also too like with staying on the Skyliner route or the monorail route, you can easily get back to your resort. So if we need to take like a break in the middle of the day and come back, where
So I think the biggest takeaway and the biggest point is probably going to be to stay close to the Magic Kingdom when you have little ones, probably. Huh? Yeah. No.
I would say it depends. I think like for our girls' first trip, because they're only going to be a few months old, it's not really going to matter. Like we can stay on the Skyliner route, you know what I mean? Because you still have quick access to to Hollywood Studios and Epcot. I think once they're older, yes, we'll stay at the monorail resorts because we'll probably spend most of our time there. Especially since they're girls, they'll want to be
The goals.
the goals, as our niece calls them. They'll want to be closer to like the princesses and all of that stuff.
Anything else on that one?
I'm trying to think. So, carriers for the rides, that's like my big one. Being flexible. Probably more quick service and not being opposed to taking like midday breaks and going back and forth. Anything else? Oh, more resort days.
Resort time.
I think we're blessed too that we've been to the parks several times, like to where we don't have to. I love doing open to close at the parks. Like that's so much fun.
One, we always enjoy the resort, but
Right.
if we do a pool day, it's like maybe half a day. We don't really kind of see it all, do it all.
Yeah.
So spending a full day or two at the resort, so definitely pick a resort that we want to spend more time at, and not they have a lot more to offer.
Yeah, so I guess maybe in that sense we'll do a deluxe resort, or I'm really leaning toward us staying at Caribbean Beach because Caribbean Beach I feel like is like kind of a Polynesian resort on a more economical budget now. Caribbean Beach has redone a lot of like the standard view fifth sleeper rooms to build a new Little Mermaid theming, which is great. We'll either have a pack and play or two in the room because of the girls. So one bed folds into the wall, which will be perfect for space. It's also really close to Riviera, so we can go like walk over to Riviera, and it has Sebastian's Bistro, which you and I were talking about the other day. Supposedly, the chef from Ohana moved over to Sebastian's Bistro, and it's a Caribbean-style family dining restaurant rather than a Hawaiian style. So we want to try that out too. So either probably like Caribbean Beach or a deluxe resort. We'll kind of figure out. Hopefully we can
By
put.
the way, we've never stayed at the Poly. That's probably our next bucket list one. Probably.
Yeah, the Poly is probably our next one.
We've ate there a few times. We've never stayed there.
No, we go to the Poly every single trip, but we have not gotten to stay there yet.
Another pro tip: always go to the resorts you're not staying at. Check them out, eat at them, and
Yep.
see if you want to do your next trip either.
I'm hoping that we can put our next Disney trip on the books in a couple of weeks. You can always move it out, but I'm hoping that we can.
So the next question is yours.
Do you wear ears, or how do you wear your hair at Disney? Tony, how do you wear your hair at Disney?
I usually wear my hair under a hat.
But what kind of hats do you wear?
Yeah, whatever I got.
No, you have a...
Alright, the first trip I got a...
Donald
Duck. I got a Donald Duck hat. Yeah, you definitely gotta be all in.
And
Last couple trips I haven't done that, and it did feel different.
I know, and every trip
Gotta
I'm
be
like...
too cool.
Every trip I'm like, just wear your Donald
Subtle.
Duck hat. Just wear your Donald Duck hat. And he like won't even bring it. They used to
I
have...
wanted to get a new one, but they didn't really have any new ones really. I wanted to get the
Timon.
I would have got that one, but they didn't
Was it
have
Timon? No, it was Pumbaa. Yeah.
Yeah,
it
the
was
Pumbaa. There you go, Pumbaa. So they threw that one out because it wasn't selling, I guess.
I love when Tony's in a theme. Like I always wear ears at the park. I have a tutorial on my TikTok of how I wear my hair at Disney. I just curl it. But if it's warmer months of the year, I'll usually do like bubble braids in it, just so it's like off my neck. But I also always have a claw clip with me, so I can just like twist it up. But I always wear ears in the parks. I typically get my ears from Shop Disney, or I have a couple of friends that have ear shops, and I also link those in my Like to Know It weekly outfits too. So I'll typically wear like ears, but I like when Tony is in a theme, and so...
Well, this flows into the next question. What's your go-to outfits, in particular Magic Kingdom? Because we always have shirts, though. We always wear shirts for sure. It's always usually our anniversary, so we had anniversary shirts we had made last year, which is my idea.
Yeah, that was Tony's
But
idea.
we always wear our Disney shirts. We don't just wear plain clothes.
No.
You dumb it down, it sounds fun.
Tony gives me a hard time because he says I like to do subtle Disney. So sometimes I'll wear like an athletic dress, but I typically at the Magic Kingdom, I'm typically wearing some type of like t-shirt. I don't think that I like, maybe at Animal Kingdom I'll wear like an athletic dress or something like that. But usually a t-shirt like themed to the Haunted Mansion or
I think that was our anniversary shirt last year we wore dinner. No.
Yeah, we wore our anniversary shirt last year. I've also bought like dresses before to wear in the parks, and I have a jean jacket that says Leader at the Club on the back of it with like Mickey Mouse embroidered. So there's always something like Mickey in it. Like Magic Kingdom is just the most classic park. Tony's usually wearing a shirt that says Here for the Snacks, because one of our favorite podcasts that we listen to, Unlocking the Magic, has a store and they have Here for the Snacks.
And they're all in the Magic Kingdom.
Yeah, and they're all like Magic Kingdom snacks. But yeah, I guess that's like I don't know. We always try to theme it.
Either way, don't just wear regular clothes. You gotta come theme.
Yeah.
Wear a Disney shirt or ears or whatever.
Magic Kingdom is the park that to me is classic. So like I'm wearing something with Mickey on it, or I'm wearing something themed to one of the attractions. Epcot to me is a park because it's like deals with countries and stuff. I'm wearing ears, but I might be like dressed up a little bit more or something like that. Hollywood Studios is the most like vintage of the parks to me. So I always theme my outfits to like vintage Mickey, like Steamboat Willie or something like that. And then Animal Kingdom is like the most like tropical and jungle. So it's always kind of like, Animal Kingdom also is the warmest of the parks. So if you're going during warm weather, I always recommend wearing like athletic like wear or something
I
like
don't
that.
understand that still.
Because there's so many trees, it makes it more humid.
I think it's hot or it's hot. You don't hear people say, Animal Kingdom is the hottest park because it has trees. And then Magic Kingdom is the hottest because it doesn't have trees.
Magic Kingdom has like Magic Kingdom and Epcot have the most indoor attractions. Right.
Either way, it's hot, it's not.
Yeah, that's true.
Don't blame the park for the weather.
That's true. That's true.
So the next one is one we haven't done.
No, we will do this one with our girls.
This is the future one too. What's your favorite character meal? How many other?
So there are, I want to say eight. I want to say there's
About
8 or 10. So you can dine with everyone from Mickey and his friends to Winnie the Pooh and the gang to princesses at the Magic Kingdom. We have never done a
Chef
character.
Mickey's, is that contemporary?
Yes, and that's my least favorite to recommend.
Probably me too. I was thinking about Epcot Garden Grill.
Garden Grill. There's also
I just the location of it.
Yeah, Garden Grill is.
It's kind of a weird, but it's kind of cool.
It's in the Land Pavilion, and it's slow rotating restaurant. The food there is kind of like an American style, like family style food. That's kind of like, I don't know. I'd say it's like almost like Thanksgiving meal, But
But
Mickey,
the characters are there, so they can't really go anywhere. So that's where plus.
they can't go anywhere.
I think probably the best one was where we just did Originals Wilderness Lodge.
Yeah, Storybook
That was probably
Dining
the
at
best
Artist
one,
Point.
huh?
I like referring my clients to Topolino's Terrace at Riviera. That is going to be our girls' first character dining experience because the food is supposed to be phenomenal. It's at the top of the
So it's
Riviera
for us, it's not for them.
and the character interactions are great. So it's like a home run for all three. It's dining with Mickey and his friends and like their artisan best. I like referring my clients to that one. Cinderella's Royal Tables is a very unpopular opinion, but I don't recommend that one because the price is so expensive. Yes, you get to dine with princesses in the Magic Kingdom, but you can also dine with them over at Epcot at Akershus Royal Banquet Hall in the Norway Pavilion, and it's less expensive. The only difference is you're trading Cinderella for, I want to say, Snow White or Belle, which I prefer Belle over Cinderella anyway. That's just personal opinion, but it's just really up to you on like what you want to do.
So at Wilderness Lodge, for you.
Wilderness Lodge, sorry.
Skip the one I was just talking about.
Wilderness Lodge is Storybook Dining at Artist Point, where you get to dine with Snow White. We walked past that one, and I was actually kind of a little jealous. Like, the food I've heard is great. I've had clients and friends that have eaten there, and they've said that it's great. The character dining experience, you get to dine with some dwarfs, Snow White, and then at the end, the evil queen comes out, and there's like a dessert presentation. And that one's like an incredibly like themed restaurant. I feel like if you're looking for like a theme for a character dining, Storybook Dining at Artist Point would be the way to go.
And it's just a really cool resort we just stayed at not too long ago. And it's everything.
Yeah, we love Wilderness Lodge.
The pool, the outdoor bar, you got the character meal, you basically have it all there.
Wilderness
The
Lodge
amazing walk-in lobby.
Wilderness Lodge is the least expensive of the Magic Kingdom area resorts because it's not on the monorail. But to me, you have a boat that takes you over to the Magic Kingdom. It's just amazing.
I wouldn't mind staying there every other time.
And maybe we'll stay there with the girls. And except they have bus transportation to like Hollywood Studios, Epcot, and Animal Kingdom. That's the only downfall. But the cool thing is, over in I'm blanking on the name of the DVC Villas.
That's what they're called.
In the DVC Villas section, Copper Creek, there is a lounge called the Carroll Pacific Lounge, and it's all Walt Disney was a huge train fan, which some people say that's why he created Disneyland.
It's not really a lounge though. It's basically just their kind of like a little lobby. When you walk in, it's where the gym's at. So it's the only reason we knew it was there.
Yeah, it's almost just like a study area.
Nobody's ever there. It's really
There's
cool.
rocking chairs. There's a fireplace and stuff. But there's all of this like
Artifacts.
history from Walt Disney on the walls, and it's so cool to go through and look at like the history of like what he loved about trains and all this stuff. And then there's like a full. Is it a full scale or like a shrunk down to scale model of like?
There's like one car. I think that it was his. I think.
Yeah, anything that's Walt
That's just
Disney.
a cool
like,
thing because you don't even know half of it. You get to do a little research before you go to these places and know you're not going to miss out on stuff.
we didn't even know that was there, and I don't know how we figured out that
It was our
there.
fake workouts in the morning. We were cruising over there.
No, we actually worked out. You did more so than me. But we walked in there and we saw it and we were like, this is really cool. And at Disney World, there's not a ton of stuff that has like Walt Disney artifacts, I guess, other than over at Hollywood Studios.
There may be. We just probably don't know about it all.
Yeah, I guess we don't know about it. Well,
There's always more to explore.
yeah, that's why you got to keep going back. So
That's our questions.
yeah, those are our 7 questions for this week. Like I said, we'll keep doing this. To me, this is really fun.
Brings back the memories.
Yeah, and to get to kind of talk off like we're not planning out. I love doing the podcast and I love planning everything out, but this is just really fun to get to just like answer your questions. So what I will do is I'm the one that like runs our Instagram, like, and I'll put up stories and stuff like that. So I'll put an answer, like a question and answer box, like every Wednesday when the podcast comes out, and then we'll collect them and do a couple of these listener questions episodes every other week. So that is going to do it for this week's episode, but we hope that answered all of your burning questions about the Disney parks. Let us know if you have any other ones. Head over to the Double Dose of Disney fam on Instagram and drop those in our stories in the question box. And as always, please, please, please subscribe to the podcast. Leave a rating and a review on your on Apple Podcasts or your favorite podcast platform, and we will see you next time.
See y'all guys next time.